The following has been pulled from the Urban Legend files. Subject: Slender Man.
The internet is responsible for many things, one of which being the creation, or the resurrection, of some of the greatest urban legends and horror stories, creepypastas. One in particular is the infamous creature known as the Slender Man. In 2009, Victor Surge uploaded 2 photos to a paranormal Photoshop thread on Something Awful forums. Little did he know that the images would explode into the popularity of Slender. The same year, a YouTube channel known as the Marble Hornets began to upload videos which followed the struggle of several men against the operator, otherwise known as the Slender Man. That was the first of the Slender Man arcs. Later arcs such as Everyman Hybrid, Tribe 12, Dark Harvest, and Emil Anderson followed in their footsteps and expanded on the mythology of Slendy. 3 years later, the indie game Slender, The 8 Pages, came out. It was a simple game in which the player had to wander a barren expanse of woods and search for some pages while you were stalked by the Slender Man. By then, the legend of the Slender Man had become huge and incredibly popular. One may question, what exactly is the Slender Man? The answer is quite difficult. One may recognize him by his appearance. He is an incredibly bland figure, but at the same time, he stands out in an aura of fear that not many other creatures obtain. Slender Man's face is traditionally sheet white, blank and smooth, hairless. The face is occasionally described as being covered in cloth in some versions of the tale. Occasionally, he is described as to having shadows of features rather than just a blank slate. It is also notable that he is able to, in some lore, rip open himself a jagged mouth-like hole. In truth, it is believed his face appears differently to every person. The Slender Man's body is, as his name references, incredibly thin, with a tall frame ranging anywhere between 6 to 15 feet tall. He appears most often between 6 to 7 feet in the arcs and other video proof. Slender also has the ability to sprout numerous tentacles or tendrils from his back and fingers. He is most commonly described as wearing a black business suit with a white button-up undershirt and a red or black tie. His taste in attire are sometimes paralleled with the men in black that are said to plague those with UFO sightings. Slender Man, much like with appearance, has varied descriptions in behavior. Sometimes he is seen as violent, dismembering and impaling victims. However, his documented attitude is usually that of a more docile, yet malevolent nature. The Slender Man seems to wait, as if stalking his preferred target. He will appear in the distance or peering in a window, as if waiting for the right time to strike. As Slender Man watches his victim, he seems to instill them in a sense of madness. Perhaps driven by fear, this onset of madness causes his victims to scribble notes about him, warning those who happen to come across them. Many of these pictures contain what is called the proxy symbol, or an X inside of a circle. The illness caused by the Slender Man can result in paranoia, nightmares, and hallucinations. Most of those who have been infected with Slender sickness always end up one of 2 ways, as a proxy or gone completely. Those who vanish are believed to have been taken by the Slender Man and moved to some place of which no one can truly explain, though it may be another plane of existence entirely. Proxies are what the thralls of Slender Man are called in most cases. These mind-controlled people are what he uses to do his bidding, carrying out tasks that it seems he cannot do on his own, though most of their responsibilities are a mystery. Some examples of proxies are Hoodie and Masky in the Marble Hornets ARG, and the Rake in Everyman Hybrid. Slender Man seems to take a greater interest in children, possibly as reference to the original images that started his story. In many lore, he seems to lure the children into a false sense of security, appearing friendly to them. That is a complete contrast to the blinding fear reaction that adults have towards them. Just like with adults, however, it seems that the result is the same. They vanish, again possibly to another plane of existence. It is uncertain why it seems the Slender Man prefers children. Perhaps it is because they are easier to fool. Maybe it is because they are more open-minded, going along with the popular ghost trope, allowing them to see him more easily. Though, it is thought that Slender Man allows his victims to see him. Or perhaps it is just a sick and twisted preference that he seems to have. It is unknown, truly. In video footage, such in the ARG, Slender Man's presence in these cases, it seems to have an effect on the camera, sometimes causing video static and audio interference. In extreme cases, more commonly when he is closer to his target or even attacking, the video can go out completely, leaving only sound, or vice versa, leaving a silent picture. Though it is not exactly certain how long the Slender Man has existed in our world, there are references to him, or rather to Slender Man-like beings dating back to 9000 BC Brazilian cave paintings. In Romania, the Tall Man was a being who dressed noble and had many skeletal arms, who used mind control to kill people. In England, the Tree Man was tall and thin, with branching appendages to appear tree-like. He would get those who behaved badly. However, German woodcuts from the 16th century are the most popular link to the Slender Man. These woodcuts by Hans Frankenberg show a character called Der Ritter, or the Knight. At the time, Frankenberg was known for depicting human anatomy correctly, but this figure was skeletal, with multiple limbs standing out from his other work. Many debated of what he was trying to depict. While some explanations were of a symbolic nature, one explanation was more supernatural. That was Der Grossman, otherwise known as the Tall Man. The Tall Man was a dark fairy who lived in the woods. It was said that he would chase down any children who entered them at night. He would pursue them until they were either captured or until they told their parents of what they had done. A journal entry from 1702 relays a perhaps real event involving the Tall Man. My child, my Lars, he is gone, taken from his bed. The only thing that we found was a scrap of black clothing. It feels like cotton, but it is softer, thicker. Lars came into my bedroom yesterday, screaming at the top of his lungs that the angel is outside. I asked him what he's talking about, and he told me some nonsense fairy story about the Grossman. He said he went into the groves by our village and found one of my cows dead, hanging from a tree. I thought nothing of it at first, but now he is gone. Please find Lars, and my family must leave before we are all killed. I am sorry, my son. I should have listened. May God forgive me. It is not clear if these are old urban legends that were used as inspiration of the Slender Man tale, or rather a true and real Slender Man who has evolved as time went on, fitting in with our culture and times. True or not, the Slender Man is a legend, one of the best and most popular to spring up in recent days. It is suggested to say as far from him as you possibly can, but if he chooses you, there's really not much you can do about it.